Thunder Force! What is up everyone, Movie Worm back again with another review, and this is going to be for the 2021 Netflix original Thunder Force, and this is directed by Falcone and stars Melissa McCarthy, Octavia Spencer and Jason Bateman. Now this tells the story of two middle-aged women who become superheroes when one of them comes up with a formula which grants them both superpowers. Now, did anyone have any hope for this film whatsoever? I didn't personally, I'm going to be honest. But I'll give everything I watch a chance despite what's in the back of my mind. And this film has a ton of problems. There's no other way to say it. But I didn't hate it as much as some other people did. But let's just get into it anyway. First off, this is a very simple story, and it's kind of the easiest way in the world to give someone some superpowers. And I thought, are Netflix just making this movie for the sake of it? And when I seen who the director was, Falcone, it kind of just confirmed that to me. He has starred Melissa McCarthy in every single one of his movies. It is his wife after all. And if you take this film too seriously, you're going to hate every single second of it, because I honestly think that these two are just making movies for the fun of it now. And they just don't care what the outcome is, really. I mean, if you look at his track record, they're not the greatest films in the world, let's be honest. First off, this film knows it's not going to appeal to everyone. It tries to have fun as much as it can, and it has some okay moments. For me, there's two different types of bad movies. One of them is the dull and boring, feels like a slog to get through, and there's other ones that are just so bad that they're slightly entertaining. I mean, as pathetic as they are, you can't take your eyes off it because it's so bad. And Thunder Force kind of falls into that second bracket for me, and I would prefer a bad movie like that over the other type of bad. Let's just get into the problems of this film. First off, if you don't like Melissa McCarthy, your tolerance levels with her are probably going to break in this one, because it's one of the worst Melissa McCarthy performances I've seen. I mean, she is trying so hard to be funny, and it's just not working. I mean, I didn't laugh once during the whole runtime of this movie, but it's not just here. There's a lot of forced humour around the entire film's runtime, and Ben, I think you need to work harder on your humour, my friend, because if that's what you're going for and I didn't laugh once, that's a bit of a problem, because I'm easily pleased. Octavia Spencer's character really doesn't help matters either. I mean, she's just breezing through this movie. She doesn't want to be there. One thing I will give Melissa McCarthy, she tried to get into this role. She tried to bring something to the film, even though it wasn't paying off. But Octavia Spencer was just nothing to her whatsoever. She's also got this daughter who the film tries to make out to be this awesome character and one that we should all get behind. And Melissa McCarthy's telling us that she's awesome as well, such a cool kid. And she's really not. She's just the same as Octavia Spencer, brings nothing to the film whatsoever. And while we're on the subject of characters in this film, Jason Bateman is half crab. Yes. He's got these crab-like arms and pincers for hands. The world is running amok with supervillains. Let's just put it that way. Well, 3 that we know of. I wouldn't say running amok, because there's 3 characters in this film that are supervillains. And he is one of them. And yes, he's half crab. Crabman is his name. Like I said, you can't take this film too serious, but even I thought that was an overstepped mark in the ridiculous department there. Now, one redeeming factor of this film is the villain played by Ben Cannavale. Now, he's a plausible villain. I wouldn't say he's anything amazing, but he does a half-decent job here. And I say half-decent because he has a few problems himself, but he brought a bit of nastiness to the role. And I feel like every good superhero film has to have a good bad guy. But he kept saying this line over and over again, and it did grate on me in the end. He's referred to as King in this film by everyone, and he keeps saying, "I'm not King, I'm the King." And it's like, oh, please just call him the King, because I can't hear this line of dialogue one more time. But apart from that, I didn't mind him too much. And speaking of the dialogue, I do think this is the biggest weakness of Thunder Force. I thought a 4-year-old came out with some of these quotes. For example, Melissa McCarthy finds out about this Crabman character and she goes, "Oh, what's his superpower?" being tasty with butter spread all over them. Yes, and another one, for instance, is she's on a voice call and she doesn't turn it off properly and they overhear her say something and she turns around and says, "Oh, it's an April Fool's joke, but a late April Fool's joke." I mean, I felt bad for Melissa McCarthy at times with some of this dialogue she was given, but then I found out Ben Falcone, her husband, remember, wrote this script, and I feel like she has read it and sort of given him a pat on the back and said, "That's good, honey. For God's sake, Melissa, give him some pointers, will you?" Now, this is a superhero film at heart, of course, and some of the action sequences were decent enough here, especially when Melissa McCarthy decides to pick this bus up and just throw it for miles. That was kind of fun to see. But as a superhero duo, they don't really work. I mean, Melissa McCarthy's ability is strength, and she's doing all the hard work. Octavia Spencer's is invisibility, and she hardly uses it in the film. Like I said, her character just brings nothing whatsoever, and it's even referred to in the movie that she is the weaker of the two. So maybe that was intended, but just because it's intended, it doesn't mean it's going to work, and it didn't here. I feel like this is the worst superhero duo since Del Boy and Rodney in Only Fools and Horses. However, these are ridiculous decisions, they know they're ridiculous, and that's what makes the film kind of watchable for me. I mean, I wasn't bored during the movie, I wasn't hating it. I'd rather watch this film over Tom and Jerry or Bliss. It's not the worst film I've seen all year, but it's up there. I'm just going to go ahead and make this movie now. I'm going to give Thunder Force a 4.5 out of 10. A very forgettable Netflix film with a man walking around with pincers for hands. Okay, at the end of these reviews, I always like to leave a little fun fact. Now, a fun fact for Thunder Force is that Melissa McCarthy and Octavia Spencer have been friends for over 20 years, just like they are in this film. Okay guys, I hope you all enjoyed this review. If you want to subscribe, it's up to yourself. We've got a lot more reviews coming, lots more videos, and if you want to comment about Thunder Force, leave it down below, and I'll reply to every single one of you, I promise. Take it all easy, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video.